Hi everyone, welcome back to Grow with Anna. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along. Today we're going to be talking about spiritual awakening and the stages of that spiritual process, because there are stages. It is a journey. There's a lot that goes on behind it and into it. And I really want this to be a starting point kind of video for those of you that are maybe feeling a little bit alone, maybe feeling like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me and what is happening around me? Things are changing. I don't really know what I'm going through. I want this to be the video that you go to as a resource. I do want to let you know that this video, pretty much everything that I learned in this video, you can also watch. I believe her name is Christina Lopes, like Lopes, here on YouTube. She goes into this like in depth. I want to do like a for dummies video kind of thing. And I also want to talk about what that looked like for me during my spiritual awakening, because it could look different for so many people. But I want you to have like context and to be able to go back to this video and be like, yeah, I'm kind of going through that too. So without further ado, here we go. So stage number 1 within your spiritual awakening is the on switch or the wake up call. This is what Christina Lopes called it. For me, it's kind of like the wake the hell up stage. It's the first step, and it is the way that your body is going to be talking to you. Things are going to be getting very loud in your life. So what this looks like is pretty much a specific trigger triggers you into your awakening. It can be like a really big life change. It could be a death. It could be you walking away from a relationship that you've been in for a long time. It could be, I don't know, a switch in your job or something like that. Like something not really traumatic, but like kind of dramatic happens in your life for this to happen to you. So, for me, I have my notes here, by the way, too, because I like journaled this while I was deep in it, because I knew I wanted to make this video one day. So for me, a crack occurred in my ego. 2020 happened. Okay, we all know what happened there. My ego was lying to me a lot, and it kind of triggered me into seeing like I'm not really living in alignment with a lot of things that, like, in my mind, I know that they're wrong, but my body was performing otherwise. Like it was doing something completely different out of like habit or whatever you can call it. So I was trying to be someone that wasn't me. In a previous video, I had mentioned that my mother-in-law had passed away. I was stuck in bed for a week. It was a lot. Like a lot happened at one time. And then the following year, that was in 2020 and 2021, my body started going crazy. I broke out in hives. I was like, not, even though I was working out and eating well and taking care of myself, like things just felt really off. And so that's something that you should look out for. How is your body speaking to you? What kind of dis-eases do you have? Like whenever something is going on in your life that you have dis-ease about, it causes diseases. That's really big. Like I want you to really take that note, because your body speaks to you. Your body does keep the score. Light started to come in, an altered state of consciousness. I knew there had to be another way for me to do this. This is so big. When I talk to women, I talk to primarily women in the work that I do. So many times they say there has to be more. There has to be another way. This can't be it. Like this life that I'm living cannot be it. This is not what I'm going to be doing for like the next 30, 40, 50 years of my life. Like, it cannot be this. That is a sign that you really need to pay attention to and start questioning. Really, it's coming at things from a place of curiosity. And when you come to it as like from curiosity and not judgment, there's so much more room there. It becomes more expansive. You're able to like see different perspectives and different things. I had lost a lot of money. I had lost a lot of my integrity. I had lost myself, and no one really knew this except for a couple people in my life. Enter in me searching for others, like, which that's a whole other thing, you guys, but community is everything. Community is everything. I'll touch on that in a later video. It's really important for you to be around people that are going to show you a different way, because if not, if you're picking people that are going through the same thing that you're going through, that's all you're going to believe is real in this life, right? Like, what's happening for them too. So, you know, that's just how life is. That's just how things are. No, it can be different. You just have to go and look out for the different. So I sat for a long time in 2021 observing myself. Again, not having that judgment piece. It's just like, it just is what it is. So I hired a coach. She was able to ask me so many questions about myself, things I never even thought about asking myself ever in my life. And that was really eye-opening for me. So that's stage number one. Again, it's that trigger, that wake-up call. What happens? Like, what is the thing that happened to you that is making you question what you're actually here for, what you're actually here to do? Number two is the bliss stage. It's like rose-colored lens. Like, you think, oh, wow, like, I'm asking myself all these questions. Everything feels amazing. Everything feels great. And then you realize later, like, oh shit, no, it's not. But it feels so good at this point because you are starting to question a lot of things that you believe to be true in your life, and you're starting to see them in another way. And that feels really good to you. It feels like, wow, I'm learning something new. I'm able to see. I was talking to one of my family members, and I never thought that I was going to be able to say that someone in my family is going through their own spiritual awakening. Never thought that. But this person reached out to me, and like, we started talking, and it's like the grass is greener and the sky is bluer and the water looks amazing, and like colors are so vibrant, and I feel amazing. Like, it feels like that. It's pure bliss. It's pure bliss. Like, you truly see the world differently. You feel, this is what I wrote down. You feel so connected. You're not just living in your world. Like, you're actually here. You feel grounded. You feel like the air is new. The air that you're breathing is new. And it's like, okay, life isn't so bad. If I could keep thinking this way, then I'll be okay. But there's more. There's so much deeper to that. I started understanding myself better, started keeping my promises to myself. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is huge. So many times in the past, I would say like, yeah, I'm gonna work out. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like, yeah, I'm gonna keep this schedule and whatever. And I just wouldn't do it. And I would be so hard on myself. Like, why am I like this? Why am I doing this? Why am I not doing this? What's wrong with me? Like, it was always from that place of judgment. And that's the last place you want to be in. And so little by little, like, I started just taking my daily walk. Then I started working out, and I started eating better. And I, little by little, kept these string of promises. I kept them to myself, and that meant everything to me. My integrity, like, the word integrity was my word for such a long time. And that would be an affirmation of mine. Like, I am so full of integrity because I spent so many years not being that way. And that was hurtful for me. Like, I could go on and say like, well, yeah, that's not fair to whoever, but at the end of the day, it's me that matters. And so where are you not keeping integrity with yourself? I would really challenge you, like, where are you not keeping promises to yourself? That's a really good starting point, because then once you start doing that, you do feel that bliss. You feel so much better about yourself, and it's such a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself. This stage, actually, let me go back. So stage number 1, Christina Lopes said that it could last days or weeks. This stage, again, can also last days or weeks. In here, I also wrote down that I started cultivating connection. Again, community is everything, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's very important, like, point blank period, in your journeys overall. Stage number 3, this is the dark night of the soul. And it is just as dark as it sounds. It is the worst. I literally felt like I was dying in this stage. I felt like I died like at least 10 times. So what's happening, and if you guys want to go back and listen to a little bit of it, the video that I have with Stephanie, I will put that somewhere over here in a card. It really truly does feel like you're dying, and it's an ego death, and it's these little beliefs that you've carried with you throughout your life, whether you formulated them yourself or they were instilled into you by your parents or instilled into you by your community, instilled into you by a teacher or someone, like you're the sum of the people that you've been around. And so along the way, you adopt these beliefs, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, I don't think I believe that anymore. Or you start to question, you're like, I don't want to go here because I don't want this to be like a video about that or even a channel about that. But a lot of women that come and work with me, a lot of it is like around religion. Okay. So there are certain beliefs that you have when you go to church, things that you learn, and then you feel bad for questioning them later in life. And all I'm going to say is that you have full permission to question whatever it is that you want. It doesn't mean that you disagree with it. It could mean that you agree with it, and it could also mean that you don't. But this is your permission slip to just observe and question and be curious, and then come up with your own beliefs, right? So anyways, your soul triggers a purge here, a deep purge. Again, things that you thought were true are no longer true. You're getting rid of those beliefs. Deep healing happens here. People, like a lot of people say that they're nervous about like shadow work or anything like that, when really it's not that scary. Can it be? Yes, but it depends what you've gone through in your life. But a mentor of mine, Svetlana, she says, as above, so below. As high as you want to get with your evolution and your growth journey, that's how deep you have to go into the layers of you. So you have free will over that. You get to decide how far you want to go. Your ego dissolves here, but a new ego is born. And that's really freaking cool. In the video, again, with Stephanie, we talked a lot about the word surrender. Surrender completely happens here. And it's so beautiful because it's like, I'm open to whatever way this works out. And this like comes to be. So the way that it rebuilds itself and the way that you learn to trust yourself again is just a really beautiful thing. Your body is being cleared out for new light to come through. You align your chakras here. I really want to make a video about that because those are energy centers in your body, and it's like the most amazing thing. Here is where my hive started coming out. I was not listening. I was one of those kids that I knew I was different in the sense that like I knew I was the sensitive one in my family. Like when my grandpa passed away, I knew he was here, like energetically, and I would tell my mom that. And I don't know if I told my brothers that too, but she just knew that I was the highly sensitive one of the family. So I was afraid of that for a really long time. I was like, I'm different, I'm weird, I'm like, why is it only happening to me type of thing. And like, there are things that happened when I was a kid that I would be like very sensitive to, and I grew scared of it, really. But at this point in my life, when I was going through dark night of the soul, I realized that it's actually a gift of mine. And so I started being more open. I don't know if this happens to you, but when you meditate, there is like such a connection. If you meditate, and if you don't, highly recommend it, 10 out of 10. There's just this connection that you feel, and like open communication almost, and you're just channeling things. And I feel like once I started embracing that side of me, that part of me, things just came naturally and effortlessly, and it was so beautiful. So I started listening more, and then that's when things in my body like really started getting back to normal again. So dark night of the soul looks different for everyone. You're probably going to be crying a lot. I shouldn't say probably, you are. You're going to be crying a lot. You're going to be questioning a lot. You're going to be sad. You're going to be angry. You're going to be like resenting people, I'm sure, but just know it's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. Guaranteed something that you're going to be going through the dark night of the soul. You're going to be called for deep rest. What does that also sound like? Depression. This can be triggering for some people. I struggle with depression. I struggle with anxiety too. But I knew people that struggle with depression, you know that this is different. Like if you've gone through dark night of the soul, or you're about to, and you also struggle with depression, just know it feels different. You know it's not that. You know it's not that, but it feels like it in terms of like your body is going to call for deep rest. You're going to not want to do shit. You're not going to want to go out with your friends. You're not going to want to go out with your significant other. If you have one, you're not going to want to go out with your family. Like you don't want to do anything except be with yourself and by yourself. And actually, sometimes you probably don't even want to be with yourself. You want to be completely separate from your body, because your body is going through such deep healing. And honestly, this is what I meant by it's going to get louder. The more that you don't listen, it will get louder. For me, I had these reoccurring thoughts for like, I would say maybe a solid 2 years, if not more, of just things that I knew I wanted to change in my life. Like whether it's a job, or it's the way that I was doing things in my business, the way that I was treating my body, just the internal dialogue that you have with yourself. I know you know what I'm talking about. There are these reoccurring thoughts that come up, whether you're driving, or you're in the shower, or you're taking a walk, or you're just in bed and you're laying your head down at the pillow at night and you're like, I am not happy, but it's just all in here, right? Solid 2 years at least that I can remember, like these thoughts would come up, and then more often and more often and more often, and then things got louder in my head, and then all of a sudden my body started breaking out. And it's because you're holding on to so much. It will be getting louder until you pay attention. And for me, I was stuck in bed for a week. Like that was the ultimate, like, get your shit together, Anna. And so you get to decide how long it is that you wait until you listen to that voice. But I highly encourage you to listen to it a lot sooner, because if not, then you are again going to cause that dis-ease in your body. And so don't let it get to that point. Please don't let it get to that point. Listen to yourself. You can trust yourself. There's a reason why things are coming up. There's a reason why these thoughts don't go away, you know? So Also, with saying that, if you have like a very good friend or someone that knows someone, like, get a therapist, get a coach, get someone that you can talk to about these things, because the more that you give voice to them, sometimes the quicker it is that you realize, like, oh wow, that's actually kind of silly. Like, saying it out loud gives it a life, and it's different than the one in your head. Like, in your head, it feels so big. It feels like, oh, this is so true for me. But then when you speak it out loud, it's very different. So I just encourage you to do that because it's important. So number 4, the void. This is your resting period. You just went through a whole lot of shit with Dark Night of the Soul, which, by the way, can last months or years. This is like the longest period that you'll have, aside from the last one, obviously, which I'll tell you about that, but do whatever you can do to cut that time down because it's a wild ride. So after that comes the void. Everything feels like it stops here. Everything feels like, what happened? Like, whether it's a connection to source or divine or God, like, you're like, where are you? Where am I? You're just like kind of in the abyss. It's kind of like that freaking like, it totally feels like that. The void totally feels like that. It's like, where am I? What's happening? What are we doing? What am I doing here? What are we all doing here? Like, it's a very interesting time. The purpose of this is to be self-reliant here. Oh my gosh, this is such a huge lesson. It is to remind yourself that you have got you. And that's the most important relationship that you can have, is the one with yourself. And so you want to be responsible. You want to treat yourself with reverence. You want to rely on yourself. You want to know that you can trust yourself. And this is the time to do that, because you're not going to be able to count on something outside of you, whether it's your connection to source, whether it's your connection to other people. Like, this is me, my body, my life. I'm here for a reason. Like, let's uncover what that is, okay? This can also last months or years. It's a great time to get to know yourself. This is the best time to invest in yourself. Go get in a community. Go learn about yourself. Go learn all the things. Human design, Enneagram things. Like, there's so much. And if you have questions about that and like you find yourself in this stage, just leave a comment down below and I will give you some resources to go and look into, because there's so many. There's so many to get to know you. You get to stand in your power here, and you also get to create boundaries here. The word boundaries. As a Latina woman, it was very hard for me, especially with my family, to create boundaries for myself, because we're so all up in each other's business. Like, you know what your brother did, not because he told you, but because your mom told you before he even went and did whatever he was gonna do, you know? Like, that's how we are in Latin culture, and that's, I'm sure, how many other cultures are too, but we're just so all up in everyone's business and all up in everyone's shit. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Will I let you in as much as I want to? Absolutely. And there are things, there are so many things that absolutely I want to let my family into, but it doesn't have to be everything. And for a long time, with me being someone that I was not only having a relationship with my family, but also a work relationship with my family, because we had a family business, it was all up in everything. Like, work came home, home went to work. It was just so much. It was so much. And so when I started putting up boundaries for myself, it was so uncomfortable at first, but it was so necessary. And I'm glad that I did, and that I still am, because now I'm teaching my family how to have boundaries within, like, themselves too, and with other people. It's so necessary. And there's so much freedom in boundaries. Like, people hear that word, or I used to hear that word, and I'm like, it's constricted. It's like in a box, but it's not that way. The more that you have boundaries with people, the more that you are able to freely express yourself and who you are and what you believe and all of those things. So it's a beautiful point to that. Number 5, groundedness. This is the time when you really ground into earth, and whether you believe it or not, manifestation really accelerates here. Why? It's because you've removed all of these things, all of these beliefs, all of these things that were getting in your way. They're no longer there anymore. You know yourself so well now that you are like, no, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I want for my life. And then it comes down, like it's this thought of the life that you want, and then it moves through you, and then you birth it. It's like, yeah, this is what I wanted. Of course it's mine. You know, it was put into your mind for a reason. And so whether that looks like the relationship that you want, the career that you want, the amount of income that you want, like it can all be yours. And it grounds, it comes to your life, and it's the coolest thing ever. Your sense of connection to divine comes back here. Again, like manifesting, it is a very close relationship with divine, and it's just so cool. It's so cool. And also, like, just know it ebbs and flows. It comes in and out. Like, I'm a part of a mastermind, and we were talking just last week about like, we feel so disconnected right now, but we know that there's gonna be this thing that happens. We're all going to a retreat, and we know like the connectedness is gonna happen there. So we know it ebbs and flows. We know it comes and goes. This is where you cultivate lightheartedness. Like, things don't have to be so heavy. Things don't have to be so like black and white. There's room for gray area here too. You just know what's for you will not miss you. This can last years, which is really nice. I'll take it, you know? It's a really nice place to be in. And then finally, number 6 is your purpose and mission. This is like where my heart sings. This is what I do. I am a life purpose coach, spiritual life purpose coach at that, because I understand that you have to go through this process in order to fully understand like what you are here to do. You must. People that try and get to your purpose and your mission without going through all of the other 5 steps, all of the other 5 stages, your purpose and your mission, you will not feel connected to it. You will not feel like you're worthy of it, because there's like still blocks that are there. And so purpose and mission, your soul has a mission for you. That is your dharma. I still have to make a video about that because it's what I do. It's what I'm about. But your mission blueprint turns on. You become mission focused, and know that this lasts years and for the rest of your life, pretty much. This is where you build. This is where you're taking action. This is where you're connecting with your intuition. And this is the stage. All other stages had to do with you. This is the stage where it's for others. And I want you to know that we are not here by accident. We are all here for a reason. And there's no, like, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, in my heart, like, we are all meant to be here at the same time for a reason. There are reasons why you connect with people. There are reasons why you're alive at the same time as other people. It's because we're meant to be here for each other at this moment in time. And so what your purpose and your mission are, it's for others. Does it benefit you? Absolutely, because it lights you the heck up. It like makes you so happy. You like ooze with the things that you do. Like, you make your soul's purpose your work. And that's beautiful, and as you should, and everyone has that right. But it's it's for others. We all benefit from each other. So it's a really cool part to be in, and I'm just entering this stage now. When I wrote this, I literally, I was at number 4 when I wrote this. This was May 16th of last year, of 2022. I said, these are the 6 stages of the spiritual awakening, the void, asterisks. I believe I'm here now. I believe I'm here now. And now it is March 27th of 2023. And I can say I am now in my purpose and mission. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I am here, because I know what I'm doing right now, this video that I'm filming right now, it is for you. And it is also for me. The lessons that I've learned is what I can bring you. And so once you're there, it's really incredible. And you get to see how far you've gone. So I encourage you, no matter what stage you're in, even if you're in dark night of the soul and you're like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. I want nothing to do with nothing. Write it down, even if it's the date and what happened and how you feel. Like, it could be literally those 3 things, and just write it, because you will be so happy one day that you did. So anyways, those are the 6 stages of your spiritual awakening. Again, I really just intend this video to be for like that beginner level. It's something that I wish I saw when I first was starting out, because I had no idea what was happening to me. I had no idea. So I really hope that this video serves you. And if it did, I really hope that you share it with friends that you know are going through the same thing. And my biggest thing is that I want you to know that you're not alone. There are so many people that have gone through this, that are going through this. You're not crazy. You can trust yourself, and everything is going to work out for your highest good. I promise you that. I promise you that. As long as you're staying authentic to yourself and true to yourself, and you're staying the course, what is for you will not miss you. So with that being said, here we grow. Bye.